Welcome back, everyone. I'm John, your host. Today I have with me my guest, Adam. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, John. Appreciate you
All
having
right.
me on your podcast today.
Absolutely. So, you want to tell me a little about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I got into the air conditioning business about 5 years ago. I was one of those people that I call it the COVID pivot. COVID kind of screwed me what I was doing for the past 25 years. Um, I had a buddy of mine that had a small, growing air conditioning company who found himself extremely busy during COVID. Everybody was home and running their air conditioning.
Yeah.
He hit me up one afternoon, knew that I was no longer employed, and said to me, he goes, look, with your background, running businesses, running management teams, sales teams, I could use your help. And I said, let's go grab a drink and sit down and talk. Never once did I think I'd end up in the air conditioning business. And, 5 years later, I wish it was something I started 25 years ago because I enjoy it so much. Um, no, it was a lot to learn. Even though sales, they say sales are sales. So did 25 years of sales experience help me? Absolutely. Uh, Learning the new products, learning the lingo, was a bit challenging, a bit different than what I'm used to. The sales approach was a lot different, but took me about 6 months to figure things out, realign his business. At that point, he was a one man show, um, and had a great infrastructure, just needed to be tweaked and revised. So that's what we is what I dug into, and proud to say that 5 years later, we're running three trucks. We're looking to get a fourth, and business is booming. So it's been an interesting ride, but something I really truly enjoy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's good when you enjoy it too.
it makes it a lot easier. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like anything else, I have those days where I'm like, I want to run, But overall, it's like any other business. You get out of it what you put into it.
I
At
think
the end
that's
of the
I
day.
think that's with most trades is that you have that love hate, especially you find that job you really do love. You're gonna have the days that you cannot.
So damn,
Why am I doing this? Why
I
am
know.
I here?
Why did I say yes?
Yes.
And look, and it's so different. I mean, I never considered myself corporate. I didn't like that whole atmosphere, but I represented a lot of corporate companies, but indirectly working for them, not actually working for them, but selling for them. Um, and the way they did things is the same way we're doing things. If you as a small business, you got to think like a large business, and that was the advantage. I think one of the advantages I brought to the table was like we're going to stop saying that we're a small one man band. We're going to operate and function like we're a big company, and we're going to grow into being a larger company, and that's what we're doing. So it's you know, the struggle is real, as they say.
That's
But
pretty I've never thought about that. Is act your small business act like a big business. Yeah.
yeah, you got to have accountability. You've got to have lines of communication, and most of all, you have to have structure. And when
Yeah.
those criteria aren't met, it falls apart. It's the same thing with your everyday life. You wake up, you've got a game plan. You're either getting up and you're gonna have your coffee, you're gonna walk your dog, you're gonna leave, either go to an office, you're gonna work, you go to the airport, whatever you're doing. You gotta have a structure.
Yeah.
You for those that have kids, there's structure. And when they're not structured, your kids are running around the house like a chicken without a head. So, structure is important. And I think that's one of the biggest keys that a lot of businesses don't have the structure. Um, we were able to um, put lines of structure into place with the communication, with everything else. And, operations run better that way. Our clients appreciate it. There's nothing worse than showing up late and not notifying your customer. A
Yeah.
lot of the changes I had to make were really getting into the blue collar world where I really never experienced that before. I would be that guy that called and said, "Hey, my AC's out," hey, my water's not working, my electrical outlets are. So getting the focus in my head that I am now that guy that they're calling for help was like, oh wow. So an interesting, to transfer over to that side of
Yeah.
business. But at the end of the day, I keep my head up high and just, we've got a plan, and I stick to the plan. We talk once a month, negotiate or restructure that plan, but we're on a plan. Right.
So when you got into it and you had to start learning about HVAC and all of that, did you have to learn like the install side and how everything works to be able to sell it even better?
So what I did was, because one of the things as a sales guy is you need to know your product. Now, with that being said, I took the seminars. I took advantage of my distributors and sitting down with my sales managers and whatnot, explaining the differences between a heat pump and a straight coolant, and a heat strip versus a furnace, and all these other things. What I didn't want to do, and my partner was totally cool with it at my age, to go start and learn how to do the installation and the wiring. That's something that you gotta have 10, 15, 20 years experience.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I'm running out of time, man. I mean, by the time I do an install, I'll be 75 years old. So I said, and that was fine. And then that was an agreement we made right in the beginning. That was my only preposition of not taking the position with Andres, was that how am I going to learn how to do this? He goes, you know what? I need you to know the products we're selling, the products to upsell. He goes, the rest, you're never going to be on a job site.
Yeah,
And, I go to job sites, I visit job sites, and quite honestly, at the beginning, I ran around with him and I watched him do the installations, do the services, do the maintenance so that I can explain it. So
exactly.
do
That's yeah,
that
that
pretty well. I think one of the other key factors I learned, when you're dealing with people that are smarter than you, talk less, listen more. Because, I go to a house and the guy's an engineer. Well, I'm not going to be able to bluff him. So
yeah,
I'm very
no.
cognizant in what I say, and I try to talk straight facts. And if I don't know something, hey, I'm the first person to say, hey, I don't have the answer. Give me an hour or two, and I'll get it for you. And that's worked out. That's always worked out in my career.
Well, hey,
Um, but
absolutely, yeah. That's for a buyer. If I'm trying to buy something from somebody and they bullshit me, and you figure it out that they're bullshitting you, you're not going to buy from them. But if you
oh,
get
not
somebody
at
who's
all.
like, hey, I honestly don't know, let me
Yeah,
look it up, let me talk to so and so, let me get it done, get you an answer. You definitely have a lot more respect for that, and you're going to be like, all right, this person's going to help me through the whole
100%.
process.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah.
And our customers appreciate it, just like you said.
Yeah.
We explain to them what our maintenance is, what exactly are you getting for that price when we come to your home. What do for an install or a change out? What are we actually doing? We're replacing air handler, we're replacing condenser, we're replacing refrigerant lines. We go through the whole gamut of what we're doing. And there are people out there that, have a laundry list of questions. And I love that, because I love when a customer is into what or he or she are buying and purchasing.
Yeah.
What people don't realize at the end of the day, besides your home and your automobiles, the next largest purchase of your home, whether it's an individual home or a townhouse or a condo, is your air conditioning. And some people take care of them, some people don't. But at the end of the day, that is the largest investment you're going to make. And the average life expectancy is 10 plus years. So if you're not going to service that like you would your vehicles, it's not going to last 10 years. And the cost of repairs nowadays are through the roof,
Yeah.
through the roof. I mean, when I look back at what was sold prior to me coming on board and what that same 3 ton, unit is worth today, it's more than doubled.
Well,
And
that and they keep changing the like the Freon.
the refrigerant again, we just went through that. We're doing that now.
Yeah.
They just switched 410A to 454B for what I don't even understand it that well. There are not that many changes. And what was changed are more negative. I think it's a little more flammable now. First of all, it's more costly. So, and
God,
if I
it's
have to do
expensive.
something on a permitted job, I can't even put the 454 in. So the distributors started getting rid of that equipment in the summertime, pending the new equipment. Now I'm selling the new equipment, and there's a shortage on the refrigerant. So it's like you can't keep up. And then
Can't win.
we went to a home yesterday, a couple of homes in the past 3 weeks. They're still using R22. Those units
So
are 15, 18 years old, if not more. We're not
yes,
even purchasing that
the
anymore.
last home we sold, um, we had 2 problems with that AC that we actually that, it came with the home. And I have a good friend of mine who is an AC guy, and I was like, "Hey, I need some help with this." So he came over. Um, the copper piping around the unit itself had a hole in it. So he ended up fixing it. He got it fixed, but then for the refrigerant or
Sure.
Freon, he he was like, "Oh shit, this is an old
R22.
unit." He goes, "I don't know if I have this or I can even get it." Luckily, he did have a whole bottle of it, and he was like, "This is the last one I got." And I was
Yeah.
like, "That's so
Yeah,
what's gonna happen?" He said, "Well, if it ever goes bad again, you gotta completely redo the whole unit."
absolutely.
I was
And
like,
that's what
"Damn,
we're
dude."
running into now. And if you can get R22, it is so expensive that if you're putting 5 to 10 pounds of it in, it costs you a couple $1,000.
That's crazy.
Whereas I can replace the unit, for a couple $1,000 more than
Yeah,
that, and you get a 10-year warranty, a 2-year labor
brand
warranty.
new one. Yeah, you might as well.
We've done that. Yeah, we're not even servicing it. Once we find out there are 22. And matter of fact, we had our service tech at our office yesterday. We have two systems. One went out, and he took off the panel and goes, "This is an R22." He goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'll tell the landlord, who's Andres' uncle, he's got to get a new system because we can't get it. No one can get it. It is very expensive. It's not worth it. The cost of repair is just not worth it." So
That's
that's
crazy.
been the biggest hurdle that we're running into now. And the equipment versus the 454 versus the 410 has gone up anywhere from 8 to 12%. So I got to pass that on. I can't eat that. And then all the costs are going up, like every other business in the industry.
Yeah.
And the copper, I mean, God, I mean, in the neighborhoods, they're stealing copper.
Yeah.
You go to, Riviera Beach, East Boynton, they are literally putting a fence around their condensers in their backyard on the side of their house.
It's
Just
terrible that you have to do that, that somebody will
to,
come to the AC unit to rip copper out. I mean,
it's worth a lot of
how
money
mu all
for a
right,
drug
yeah,
addict or an alcoholic, unfortunately.
yeah. How much money are you really getting out of 1 unit?
No,
Not a whole bunch.
it would behoove us to go out and steal one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But there are people that are desperate and they'll do anything. And we're going there and they're locked up. And it's crazy to see.
it is. It's nuts.
Unfortunately, it's the
But
world
it's a
we
good
live in.
business to be in here in South Florida.
Oh, it's a great business. I mean, God,
It's
it
hot all year round.
it's hot all year round. And the crazy thing is this January was so abnormally cold.
It was.
So many people shut their systems off to open up their windows, which really is not the best way to do it. It's just easier to raise the air up. Your unit's not going to turn on, so you're really not using nominal electricity.
Yeah.
But now it came February 1st and it hit 80, 85, 86. People were turning back on their units and they weren't going back on. So we spent January going out replacing heaters, heat strips, because if it went on, it smelled because you have all the dust. It's a heat strip. It's not like a heat pump, like a
Yeah.
furnace in the Northeast. So it collects a lot of dust. That's the funny smell people smell. When they turn it on, the handful of times they turn it on. But what was happening, they were turning them on, they were blowing out. So we spent all January putting in new heat strips. And then come February, we were running around, jump starting everyone's AC because they couldn't get the AC to turn back on, which is crazy. But
So for the heat side of that, you say heat strip, where does that go? Is that in the
it goes
unit?
in the air handler. It's a little like plug and play type of system.
Okay.
And it's anywhere from 5 kWs up to 10 kWs. That's what heats your home. Um, we don't have furnaces down here.
Yeah,
You
no.
know, if I said to one of my guys here, you're going to put in a furnace, they'd look at me like, what? There are no furnaces,
The
which
big
thank
tank
God,
of
because
oil.
they're even more money when you got to add the furnace to the system.
Yeah.
They're little electronic, like you ever get like a stand up heater? You see the
Yeah.
coils, they get red. It's similar to that, and it
Okay.
plugs right into your air handler. So that's how we push the heat through. And it pushes. A lot of people say, "Well, my heat's not working. I don't hear it blowing." It doesn't blow. I mean, it comes out smooth and soft. But what people forget, when you're in a 3,000 square foot house
Yeah, you're
and you
not gonna.
wake up at 68 degrees and you want it at 75, it takes 6 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
But it's the same way when someone's AC in the summer goes out and we have it up and running and their house was 84, 88 degrees. They call you back 2 hours later. Well, it's still at 78. I'm like, you got it. Go to bed. But when you wake up, if it's still hot, call me. I don't think I ever get a phone call back in the morning. It just takes a lot of time for the temperature, to regulate and get where they want. But
Yeah. It's especially here in the summertime.
it's brutal.
It gets
Brutal.
brutal like that, and then if we have a storm, you lose power, and
Yeah.
then it'll if you lose power for a good amount of time, well, there goes all that coldness in the house, and then yeah, it takes forever to get it.
Forever to get it back up. It
Yeah,
is
because
the
it's
number
so
one
hot
call
out.
we get after a new install when it's hot out. Because they come home 5 o'clock, AC's done, you're up and running. I set it at 72. Mind you, it was 88 when we left. And 2 hours later, they're like, well, it's still at 79. I'm like, gotta give it to, oh, it's not working.
Yeah,
I'm like, I can't go back out because I can't push the air any faster through the vents. It's got to just do its course. It takes time.
when that happens, do you get a lot of people that try to lower it, like, dramatically, and then it
Right.
squeezes the system
Yeah.
out?
Then they try to lower it to 68, 6. I'm like, you can't do that either because now what you're doing, it's like getting on the highway and just gassing your car to 140 miles an hour and not taking it off. And it's like, dude, you're not. I always say, guys, this is not a NASCAR. This is
Yeah,
not an F1 car. You cannot just pedal it and keep it on the pedal. You gotta let it take its time because
yeah,
you're running the motor at such a high RPM technically that there's a good chance you blow that out. We always tell them put it at a reasonable, let it cool 4, 6, 8 degrees, then drop it another 2 degrees, and slowly, progressively work your way down to the ideal temperature that you want it at. And they think we're crazy, but like I said, no one ever calls me in the morning because
yeah.
by the time they wake up, they're like, they're freezing.
Yeah, when you have a big house like that, it's it's not
Well,
it
look,
doesn't
when you get
happen.
in your car in the middle of the summer, you just went, to the market, you get in, it's 110 in your car. You put your AC on. It takes a good
Exactly.
5 minutes to cool your car down. What is your car? 3 square feet? 4 square feet?
Yeah,
I mean, think about that. So now you want 1,500 to 3,000 up with one system trying to drop that temperature 15, 20 degrees. I mean, do the math. It's impossible.
then you got
But
them big homes with,
But
like,
again, well, at
8
least a big
systems on the
home,
side.
you've got 3, 4, 5 units. If not, I mean, look, the nice thing is we service everybody from one system. We've got people on Palm Beach Island, the back of Wellington, that have 5. We have a huge account on the island. They have 10 systems. And
That's
so like
nuts.
so you got one to subsidize the other when you're out, and they're not all going out at the same time. But I apologize, people
No,
don't
you're
listen.
good.
Um, yeah, it's remarkable to see some of the homes and some of the non-systems that they have.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna pay that electric bill during the
Uh,
summer.
the electric bill on 4 units will average you 2,500 to 3,500 a
That's
month.
why.
But I mean, you're in a 10, 15, $20 million house.
Yeah, you're in
It's
a
like the
massive.
guy. It's like the guy that drives the 911 that complains about gas prices.
Yeah,
Like, can't buy the $200,000 car and complain that it's $4 to fill it up. Sorry, doesn't
it's
fly with
true.
me. You
Yeah,
know.
you wanna play, you gotta pay.
That's
That's how
it.
that goes.
That's it. Yeah, no, absolutely. But
So
having 2 systems, when you're over 3,000 square feet is pretty much the average. And that
really?
all, yeah, because it cuts down the cost than running one machine to cover all that. We like to split it up. So that's more on the new construction type home nowadays. We just picked up a new construction job here in Wellington. They were going to go with 2 3-ton units. And, you say, well, I don't want one unit to really be on this bedroom side. I just said, why don't you go 2-ton on the bedroom side, 4-ton on, like I call it the common area, the den, the living room, the kitchen. Oh, that's great. Great idea. So there are ways to, do it right that it'll save them money in the long run. But the new equipment is so energy efficient, and the new homes, once you put in those hurricane glass
Oh yeah.
windows, night and day. I mean, night
Yeah.
and day. But they've come out with some really aggressive, high, decent seared systems that are so energy efficient that anyone running something 10 years or older will automatically see a decrease in their electric bill each month, for sure.
What's the biggest AC unit you guys do on like residential homes?
Residential, we go as big as 5-ton, and then
Okay.
we'll just add and add and add. On the commercial side, we're licensed up to 25-ton, but we do
Damn.
light commercial, meaning, I have to walk away from certain bids. Like I just got one for a medical center. We don't have the manpower, and there you're talking about 40-ton systems, 3 or 4 on the roof. That's out of our league. We are generally, I would say, our commercials work is 1,500 to 3,500, 4,000 square feet, which would consist of anywhere from 7.5-ton, 12-ton, maybe a 15-ton, and that's it. And that's kind of our sweet spot.
Ferguson HVAC.
That's pretty big.
Oh, it's big and expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
All the pharmacies, coffee shops, restaurants, they're running anywhere from 7.5 to 20-ton units. Not until you get into the hospitals and major, buildings and high rises that they're running those major 30, 40,
Yeah.
50-ton systems. You got to be a big boy to have that. I mean, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
That's having guys on call 24/7. It's a niche, and we don't compete with those guys. So we know our sweet spot. We're 90% residential. We've definitely increased our commercial, but again, it's light commercial. We just finished up. We're finishing up today a Pilates studio, 2,500 square feet. We've done my community pharmacy in Wellington. That was a 7.5-ton. And we like other service agreements. We really like to push these service agreements. And that was getting back to the beginning of our conversation. Everyone should have a service agreement with Ultimate Solutions, if not their local provider, and let them come in twice a year for a tune-up. We do a full 18-point inspection of everything. When we leave, everything is cleaned, wiped down, spec'd out, running at manufacturer spec to the day it was installed. And you get, we give a 15% discount on anything needed at that call. There's no, we waive the initial, what we call a demand call to go out and diagnose. So if you're on our maintenance plan and you come home from dinner one evening and find out your AC is not running, we don't charge you our cost to come out there and diagnose. So there definitely has its advantages.
Yeah.
But I mean, the most important thing is changing your filters once a month. Without a doubt. The day you pay the rent, the mortgage, change your air filter. I mean, they're $6, $7, $8 a filter. It's a nominal investment. And that's the number one cause of ACs going down. When that filter gets thick and grimy, it will shut down your unit. It will back up the pipe, your drain lines, and it causes a lot of issues. It causes your that motor again to run overtime on a simple change of the filter. You can buy them at Publix, Home Depot, Lowe's.
Amazon.
Buy a case at Amazon, have them deliver it.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. I get it from a distributor, but same pricing. They're inexpensive. I don't push the expensive air filters, and I'll push a thicker filter for like the snowbirds, but I don't get into some of those filters that you can leave in for 6 months to a year. We find they cause problems, and they get pretty gnarly after several months. And for what you spend on them, it'll end up costing you more in the long run. So just use your traditional MERV filter once a month. They're all pleated, and the pleats 7 to 8 pleat is generally for every day. Guys like us that change it once a month. And if you're a snowbird, you can go a little bit thicker, go to a 12 to a 20 pleated. That'll give it a little more thickness to it. And when you come back down to 3 or 4 months, you change it. You get the property manager.
How long does so if you keep up with the upkeep, how long does a unit usually last? How many years? What's the
Units
average?
are they're warranted for 10 years.
Okay.
So we have DeSantis passed a new rule. Not everyone's kind of obeying by it, but once you purchase an air conditioning unit, full system, that's not partial, air handler and condenser together, it's automatically warranted for 10 years. So we do a lot. Our number one go-to is Rude. We are part of their pro partnership agreement. They have been phenomenal with us. Rude is owned by Ream. Everybody knows, if not Rude, they know the name Ream. It's one of the third largest manufacturers of air conditioning. As soon as I purchase that item and leave their warehouse, that unit is warranted under 10 years, no matter what. Some of the other guys, it automatically comes with a 5-year warranty from the manufacturer. They either will tell you the customer to register for the additional 5 years. We automatically will have someone in the office register that if that's the case for the additional 5 years. Customers are notorious for forgetting. And then we get the call, hey, on the 7th year, well, you don't have a warranty. You told us 10 years. So we're cognizant of that, and that doesn't happen on our end. But to answer your question, we just went to a house the other day. It was the same age as my son, and my son's 21. So 21 years it lasted.
Damn.
They took care of it.
Yeah.
When you look at the unit, it looks clean. Now I can look at it and know it's old as dirt, but they maintained it, they serviced it. The guy had a service agreement on it. You knew every 6 months he was getting service. And these were snowbirds too. They don't even live down here. And
Yeah.
they got it. I told her she needed a new unit. She said, send me the estimate. I'll approve it. I'll ask you to get it done. People know that when you get that many years out of it, but I would say the average is 10 to 12, maybe 15 at best if you really take care of it. But for people that live down here, and that's why the manufacturers do it at 10 years, it's kind of like 10 years is that
Yeah, I was
sweet
gonna say
spot.
because Florida, it's like we said earlier that
They run
these
24/7.
ACs are they're running 24/7. I mean,
Right.
other states you're not doing that.
No, not at all.
Down here,
No.
it's
Yeah,
a must.
averages 10 years, no doubt. But, and then when you start after that warranty's up and people start patching and putting band-aids on it, the costs are expensive. I mean, you get a leak in your coil, and if it's not under warranty, I mean, you're looking at several $1,000s. What customers don't forget, even when it's under warranty, let's say a coil, I have to remove your coil, basically take apart your system. Then I've got to go bring it to the distributor, pick up the new one, return the old one so we get credit for the warranty aspect. But in between all that, and the mere fact that my guy needs 2-3 hours to reinstall and put back your unit,
Yeah.
we have to charge for labor. But that labor is us taking it out, picking up the new one. So if you're, fortunate for us, a lot of our distributors are close by because we really stick to servicing the Palm Beaches from Boca to Quest and Jupiter area, Palm Beach Island to Waxahachie. So there are enough distributors locally, so they're not far drives. But all that time, and then once you pull a coil or you pull this, pull that, you got to fill it up with refrigerant again. You've got to run through the multiple lists of testing so that when you leave, it's running at manufacturer spec. So everyone gets upset. Well, it's under warranty. Yeah, the $950 part
Yeah.
is, but not the
Everything else.
labor.
Yeah.
We offer a 2-year labor on a new system. We're probably 50-50, 70-30 with other guys out there that, generally speaking, offer 1 year. So we like to offer that second year of labor, because we're selling quality. I mean, I'm not going to offer or sell anybody that I don't have a 10-year warranty in a company or a manufacturer or distributor I don't trust their product. I mean, people always want to save money, and I get it, but I'll have to walk away from that if they want to find something that we know is not going to be get them the 10 years that they deserve. So,
Yeah.
and it happens more times than not. I mean, I got a call yesterday. The guy purchased a mini split and wants us to install it. So that's great. I can install it. Here's our price, but there's no warranty on it. So should it break down in 3 years, we'll call us to repair it, but I can't offer you the warranty. So whatever you think you're going to save by ordering it on Amazon or at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're going to lose out in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run, exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and for the price that they were offering, you're not even talking major dollars. Between $500 and $1,000 for peace of mind.
So when you guys do the installs, do you guys still? So the last house I had that we sold, we had the air handler in a wall, in a tight spot in the wall, but there was an old one in the attic that was still up there.
But it wasn't being used. It was just in the
Yeah,
attic.
it was just that was the old one that was still there. Do you guys still put them in the attic, or do you guys go in the wall?
We will. What happens is, if it's already in the attic, generally speaking, we will go back to the attic.
Okay.
Again, a little thing that customers don't realize. We can actually remove it from the attic or disconnect it. We will remove it and discard it. But to put it into a closet, put it into your garage, I've got to run all new lines. So on top of the standard
Yeah.
installation and the product, I've now got to run new copper, new piping. It's generally, let's just say it's between 2 and 3 grand, depending on where I'm relocating it.
God, it must be a
Um,
pain in the ass to pull that thing out of an attic and then put a new one
or
in.
you got to dismantle it. Some attics are tight, and you have to dismantle it and take it piece by piece. Especially the little squares in your closet or in a hallway, they make it very difficult. A lot of the newer homes that I would say 80% of the newer homes, it's in the garage or in a closet.
Yes.
But when it is in an attic, it's in an attic you and I can stand up in.
Oh,
It's
see,
much, it's a
the
wider,
one-
right, and it's probably a garage pull down. It's got a much longer and wider space that has a ladder, so it's not as bad. But they take it apart. The outer shell. We can some units you can take apart half and half. We just waste it up in. But most people end up shying away from relocation because they're already dumping five, eight, ten
yeah.
thousand dollars. And I'm in a position now. We just been to the lady. She wants it out of the attic. It doesn't affect you in the attic. But if you want it relocated, hey, this is the price we're relocating.
Yes.
But all new installs, I don't think we just landed a couple of new installs um, on renovations and new builds. They're all going into a closet. And the nice thing now, they've come out with side discharge condensers. So, funny story, we do a lot with a condo complex in Lantana, and situation lady calls, her son's there, for a week with their friends that live up in Canada. Their unit was the one I was telling you was 21 years old. Well, on this roof, all the units are on rails, and then they're on. Well, everyone around them have replaced their unit. So the condenser, so this condenser is 22 inches wide. You can't find anything under 34. But because everyone else replaced them, I only have about 28 inches to work with. So now it'll be the first one we're putting on a roof. It's called, they have a side discharge. So the motor, the fan motor that's on top,
Yeah.
they're now on the side.
Oh.
So they've narrowed the width. I think the width is about 22, 26. Don't hold me to it. It's a little longer and a little higher, but now I can fit it. I couldn't, well, I wouldn't be able to do this job. It would have taken an engineer to reconfigure this
Yeah.
because you have everybody on the sixth floor that would have to be moved to make 8 to 10, 12 inches of room to put that condenser on. So they're higher SEER rated, they're more money, but they are so energy efficient.
Now, did they just come out with those recently?
Recently, yeah, it started. They started coming out in 24. Now they're really making a big impact in the market. The nice thing is they run like on cruise control. So when your AC shuts down, when you're sitting watching TV, you hear boom, your AC goes back on, you hear the condenser start running, maybe
Yeah.
the lights will flicker. None of that happens anymore. It's on a steady, technically, like they call it a cruise control. It just runs all the time, but it's running at as if you were on cruise control. And it automatically, if it's set at 74 and if it's 76, you don't even know that it's adjusting the temperature because it's
That's
always
nice.
and it's about 20 to 30 decibels quieter that you don't even hear it. You could be outside your house, you won't even hear it. I mean, it's awesome. And they run, about 1,000 to 1,500 more a unit, but they're running at a 17.2 SEER, which is one of the higher SEERs. A lot of people want the higher SEER, thinking that FPL is going to give them some money back, but you've got to buy such a high SEER system or the 20s to get the $2,500 back. For the 5,000 more you're going to spend on the system, so it really doesn't work. But that is right now the most energy efficient, high SEER systems you're going to get out there. Air handlers, your traditional air handler. I believe the wiring of that condenser takes a little bit less time than the traditional condensers. So it's definitely something we're pushing, along with some of the other things we recommend when we're on a sales call.
So if the outside unit broke, you can't mix and match units and handlers. You have to
You
redo all.
could up until last year. Now with the new refrigerant, you can't mix and match. So, like I was saying, a lot of the distributors do have air handlers and condensers around randomly. Most of them are out of stock, but if a guy needed a 3-ton and I had one, I could do it. I could get that done for him. But I'm probably at a 20% chance of actually getting what someone would need to do that change out.
Damn.
But one of the things we run into and we won't do anyway, we'll go, someone will have a Goodman air handler and a rude, condenser and want us just to fix the Goodman because the Goodman is 10 years old or 12 years old and the other is only 8 years old. Again, it defeats you'll get the warranty on the new part, but houses are set to run. They've done energy calculations. That's why your house has that 2, 3, 4, 5-ton system in it. So we won't kind of mess with that. It seems to never work in our favor. One's either too powerful, it blows out the other one, then you got to come back. I mean, we don't like doing it. And again, it's one of those, we'll do it, but you're going to sign that. Should something happen, we are not responsible for it.
Yeah.
Because people like to take the gamble, and I get it. It's a rental property; they don't give a shit, But when someone's renting your property for 2,500 a week, and the AC goes down, you're going to kick yourself in the ass that you just did what you did. But
Yeah. And we might as
we'll
well
do
do
it.
it
Just
all.
sign on the dotted line because it's
Yeah.
not our fault.
Do it one shot, be done with it. Then
Yeah.
you can't worry about what's gonna break next.
Look, in Florida especially, I mean, look all over the country, there are a lot of scumbags out there, and they'll do anything and they'll rip people off. And I will never be that guy. My father taught me something when I was younger. He goes, just make sure whatever you do in life, you can sleep at night. And I sleep like a baby at night. I just karma. There's something to be said about karma as you get older and more mature.
It's
You
real.
wonder, you wonder why that happened to you, and you're like, okay. So I want myself, and I tell my guys the same thing. You want to sleep at night? And they look at me. And I'm like, do the right thing. Just do the right thing.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, it's their prerogative. Say no, walk away. But I'm proud of our Google ratings because we do the right thing. We say the right thing. And again, if we're running late, I want you to pick up that phone and call that customer or text that customer. Hey, I got held up by a customer. I'll be there in an hour. Does that still work for you? Customers know if they're getting a maintenance and you get stuck, or we get a phone call with someone without air, that person without air takes priority over us doing a tune-up on your air conditioning. You have to understand that. And we always present that when you're signing a maintenance plan with us, that we will be there every 6 months, but we may have to cancel due to someone else not having air conditioning.
Yeah.
We try our best to help the elderly. People take advantage of the elderly all over the place. Last year, I walked into an 82-year-old woman's home in Boynton. It was 92 degrees. For a
Oh,
month, she couldn't get a system. Guys were
my
charging
God.
her to come out and give her an estimate. They wouldn't help her with the financing. I sat and sweated with her, broke out my iPad. She fixed income, didn't have a great credit. I said, you know what? I texted 20 of my friends. I said, guys, I need $5 grand. I got an 82-year-old lady. This is early August, sweating. I mean,
Yeah.
let's get together. We'll do the install, no charge. We'll put, our manpower. I mean, I'm not, but let's get this lady system. Shit, by the time I woke up that morning, I had all that money Zelle to me. I mean, I called my doctor friends, my lawyer friends, my locals around here in Wellington, my New York friends. We took care of her. I
It's
take her
amazing.
out to lunch every 4 or 5 months. We were on the news with CBS and RE8 for a feel-good story, unplanned, but you got to do right by people,
Yeah.
and we stand behind our work. We stand behind what we do. Um, the worst thing in any business is getting a call back, and they do happen, but you don't want to call back because you hired someone that didn't know what they were doing, or was just too lazy. And in our industry, the guys get burnt out.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
working in attics, you're working the summer heat, and with the sun up till 9 o'clock, we're running
Yeah.
from 7 a.m. to 9. Now they love the paycheck on Friday, but they're dying through the day. I mean, it's rough. So
Especially with addicts, man.
it's
I
awful.
can't
It
imagine it.
is. When I
'Cause
have to do an estimate and get up there, and I
it's
get
rough.
up, the attic's like 1,000 square foot home. On the other side of that, I'm just like, don't put your foot through the wall, the ceiling. I mean, so, I mean, it's like being a sauna.
Yeah.
And these guys are stuck there a couple of hours at a time.
It's
But,
rough.
every truck has a big cooler like they got on the sidelines of the NFL. I said, you know what? I'll load them up with ice and waters. And I tell them, take your time. Go sit in the truck for 15 minutes. I put this hydration, I forget what it's called. I throw a couple of boxes in the trucks. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. I don't want anyone getting sick. You gotta hydrate, you gotta stop, you gotta eat.
It's really cool. I don't know if you've seen these, but I actually got one probably 2 years ago for fishing. All it is it's a box, and it's probably let's see, trying to get the camera right. Probably like this big by like that tall, and it's only like that thick. And it's a fan. And it goes on your belt loop, and then your shirt just it has a little place for your shirt, and it sucks in
Oh,
air and blows up into your shirt.
that is cool. Gotta look into
And
that.
the one I got it off Amazon, it was like $20. And on a full charge, you could run it on high for 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
And on
Very
full
cool. I
charge,
gotta
you
look
run
into
it on
that.
medium for almost 10 hours. And it made a
Huge difference.
huge difference because when you're sweating, that air blowing up onto you, it makes it nice and cold in there. It was
Because
huge
we
difference.
have those blowers that you'll see more industrial blowers.
Yeah,
They'll plug them in, but 100 degrees, you're blowing hot air, even
hot
though
air on you.
it's at least it's air moving. So it
Yeah.
helps a little bit. But that's something I'll look into. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
All I did was I typed in fishing fans and that they come up right pretty
Okay.
quick.
All right, cool. I'm gonna write that down. That's great.
Definitely something to look into because they do
Absolutely.
work.
Yeah, I mean, I give them the hats, I would give them the towel, whatever they need. I just don't want them to push themselves. I know it's rough, but
Yeah, this heat down here,
yeah.
it's
So
bad.
when we walk in and we see that air handler in the closet or in the garage, we're like, thank you,
I bet.
thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Where's the handler? Oh, it's in the attic. Great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, so again, that's what we've been doing. Business is great. We're looking for more customers. We look at the network, so whatever we can do, and we're big in the community, especially in the Wellington area. We're a lot of members of the Wellington Chamber, so we do a lot with the chamber, a lot with the community. It's been a fun ride the last 5 years. I got to tell you, great learning experience. I've got my son working for me now, which is cool. And, it's something I would never have thought of, but, my timing was right. And, I got a great partner, and, things are rocking and rolling. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, man. And,
So for everyone here in South Florida that's looking for AC, you want to go ahead and give your information?
absolutely. All Temp Solutions. We are headquartered out of Lake Worth. We cover again from Boca Raton. We'll go into Deerfield, Pompano, but we generally cover all of Palm Beach, from Boca to Cuesta Jupiter. We do a tremendous amount on Palm Beach Island, go way out to Waxahachie and everything in between. All Temp Solutions. Our website is alltempsolutionsinc.com, which we're updating. You can find us on Google. We're Google verified. We're accredited with the Better Business Bureau. You can find us on Yelp as well. And our direct line for service, maintenance, repairs, 561-633-5410. It's 561-633-5410. Give us a call. Love to make you part of the Ultimate Solutions family.
That's awesome.
John, I can't thank you enough, brother.
No, man, absolutely. This is awesome.
John and I met at the dog
The
park
dog park, yeah.
with my wife. We ended up spending well over an hour just bullshitting and got to know each other, and this was a lot of fun. This was really
Yeah,
cool.
it's crazy where you just meet
You never know.
people anywhere. It really is, yeah.
You never know.
I like to talk to everybody, so I definitely
I'm
I
like that
definitely
also.
meet all kinds of people.
My days are filled with networking, lunches, just meeting people.
Yeah.
The more you meet, the more you get, and you get to know so many awesome people I've met. I mean, I've been in Wellington just shy of 19 years now, and I've met some phenomenal people. And it's crazy because they remember what you do. And I got friends hitting me up like, "Saw your truck here, saw your truck there." It's like, wow, and little things are making a difference, but there are companies that have been out there longer than us. There are a lot of new companies popping up, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for honesty and reliability, All Time Solutions, we've
That's
got
it
you
right
covered.
there. Exactly.
Um,
Like you said, honesty that and karma. If
it all
you're
plays
honest
in,
with your buyers and everybody that's working with you, then yeah, you're gonna get repeat customers. That's
but and you
how it
never
works.
know where life is going to take you. I
Yeah.
mean, I thought life was great, and it was great. COVID hit, and 6 months into COVID, I was like, oh shit. And then, a year into COVID, I was like, double the oh shit. And I mean, one phone call changed my life, and all these years later, I would have known. So don't piss off anybody. You never know; you might need them in the long run.
That's right.
But
All right, Adam. It was awesome having you on here, man. I appreciate you coming
thank
on.
you so much, brother. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. We'll go
Yeah.
back for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate
Bye.
you. Bye bye.